Let's kick it off, man. Let us
All right,
have
cool.
it.
Cool. Well, guys, listen, I appreciate you having me here today, Eric and the JobTread team. My name's Tom Reber. I'm the founder of the Contractor Fight, if you don't know who I am. And I've been fortunate. I've worked really hard to become a true student of the game of success and understanding what separates elite performers from people that are just great. And my guess is there might be a couple elite performers on this. Most of you are probably good and great, probably mostly great. But my guess is that when you take time out of your day to do something like this, you want to get to that elite level. You're not used to being you don't want to be a common contractor. You don't want to be mediocre. All right. And so I've worked hard to become a student of the game. I've been mentored by some amazing people through the years and coached. I've been attacking and doing what I'm doing for well over 10 years now. I've built the world's most impactful community on the planet for home improvement contractors, hands down. I've filmed over 1,000 videos, over 1,200 podcasts. Our Contractor Fight podcast, because of you guys and others that listen to the show religiously, we crack into the top 100 in entrepreneurship. And I believe there's about 3 million of those. And we've been in the top 100 a few times. It just depends on the week we're in and out of it. Super grateful for that. I've been around the block, hosted a show on HGTV for a minute. We're actually getting ready to do some other things in that world as well in the coming months that I'm really excited to roll out. Guys, I've coached, interviewed hundreds of successful men and women. I've examined my own life, and I want to spend our time today asking some questions and opening our eyes to the possibilities in front of us. So I'm not coming out of the gate right away with this is how you sell, because that's not what this is about here today. But what I am going to come out of the gate here with today is a question. And if I can center you on this question, this time today will be worth your time. All right. So what do you see with that big eyeball of yours at the end of your next decade? Now, some of you, when I said decade, you went, oh my God, I never think more than a year out. But I want you to think about the next decade. What do you see at the other end of the next decade for you, your success, your business, your profits, your bank account? Now, we can look back at the past decade and learn from it, take those lessons, and then look forward and really put our eyes and our vision of where we want to go. And that's what I want the context as we go through these things today. All right. And Eric, you've heard this saying before. A lot of people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And I don't have time today, but if I told you the 10-year journey of my life, relationship, health, bank account, businesses, it would blow your damn mind of what's happened in 10 years. I've lived probably 2 careers full of success in a 10-year time frame because of some of the concepts that we're going to talk about here today, you guys. And what I've learned is that we are all going to end up in one of 2 places at the end of this next 10-year run. And last I checked, what's that? 3,650 days, right? If you think about it, 10 years, that's not that many days, man. Seems like it, but it's not. But you're either going to end up the prey at the end of this next 10-year run. And maybe for you're older and you got a 5-year run. Maybe you're really young and you're like, yeah, I got the 10-year run. I can see that. But maybe you got 20 or 30 years in your career ahead of you. But just understand, at the end of your time frame that you're really going for here, you're either going to look back and realize that you're the prey, meaning you've lived a life where you became an expert of what you don't have, what you don't know, what you can't do. You've allowed yourself to become a victim of the economy, circumstances, your past. Okay. And guys, being the prey is a choice. And I was there for many years, sabotaged by riding the short bus, thought I was stupid, this and that, a lot of other things. And for many years, I chose to let my past own me and slap me around until I decided to make the decision to walk into the punch and use my past to help others and to learn how to play to my potential. So you're either going to be the prey or you're going to be the hero at the end of this. Okay. Now, chances are just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You probably want to be the hero, not the prey at the end of the next 2 years. And the hero, you guys, this is the one that stepped up in your family tree. Maybe like mine. Nobody in my family ever made more than like 38 or 42,000 bucks a year. All right. Rebers didn't have money. We were on this side of the tracks and the haves were on that side of the tracks. I'm the one who has stepped up and decided we're going to be different from now on in this family tree. And maybe that's going to be you. Maybe you're going to be the one that inspires your family in regards to what's possible at the end of 10 years. You're going to show them what it's like to truly experience your dreams, because we all have them. And I'm going to talk about those in a minute and all that comes with those dreams. Maybe you're going to be the only one that's really made life-changing money, built a model marriage. You've been in shape. You're happy. I want to be happy. I don't know about you guys, and I choose to be happy. Show them that you can win at home and in business, because a lot of people think you can't win at both. All right. So guys, whatever the next 10 years looks like for you, where you end up in 10 years, the prey, okay, or the hero, or the lion, or the king, or the lion king, if you want to call it that. All right. It is nothing more than a choice. It is a choice. And we're going to talk a little bit about choices today. And it's important to understand that where you land in the next 10 years is going to be the accumulation of those choices today. However, I have found that there are usually a couple things that keep people from succeeding at their highest levels. Now, right about now, Eric, people are like, I thought we were going to talk about sales. Guys, we're going to talk about sales. But just talking about sales without the context of why it's important and what it means to you would be a waste of our time. I've noticed over the past couple decades of my life, especially the last 10 years, that there's one or two things that trip a lot of people up. I've been fortunate to work with some real heavy hitters, both as a client and being coached and mentored, and on the other side of working with many, many large multi-million-dollar companies and high performers. And I can tell you, it's come down to these two things for me over and over and over again, most of the time. The first is that you are not familiar enough with your dreams. If you are not getting what you want, if you're not moving closer to that 10-year vision you have for yourself, I would ask you to consider to pull back and say, how much time do I put my focus, my mind on my dreams that I have? Okay. See, your dreams were put there. That thing you want, the emotion you want, the money you want, the relationship, the team, the type of business, they were put there, okay, in you. They got there somehow. I don't care how, but they're there. And so many people fall short of their dreams because they fail to understand that your mind moves you toward or closer to what you're most familiar with. Anyone ever heard that before? Okay. You are drawn to what you focus on mostly, what you put your time on. So if you tell yourself, oh, nobody wants to work and everyone's lazy and millennials are idiots and whatever, you're going to get more of that. If you're going to put your mind on the fact that, man, there are plenty of people out there that want to buy what I'm selling at the prices that I'm putting out there, then those people will attract to you as well. If you tell yourself each and every day, you put your mind on your dreams of where you want to land in those 10 years, all right, I promise you, you're going to move closer. This is an obstacle for so many people because it's so easy to spend so much time looking at the adversity right here now today. It's so easy to look at the problem or the lack, okay, the past, and we actually push ourselves further away from the things that we want because our focus goes to the things that are what we would call the struggle. All right. Your dreams, it's been said by others that your dreams are a preview of what's in store for you if you put your focus there. All right. When your mind is focused on your dreams, okay, the work to get there is nothing, you guys. Now, there's a couple pictures on here. Curious. There's two pictures on here. They're in the corners. There's those pictures of the trees. See, those are very personal to me. Some of you guys might want a jet and more money, your dream home, whatever it might be. All right. But listen, my wife and I, we visited an Airbnb down in Santa Fe back in February, fell in love with the place. It's this little 6-acre compound, and here's a couple shots of it. And we tried to convince the woman to sell it. She's not interested in selling it. She is interested in producing a TV show for me, so that's a win. All right. And so so my wife came home and she sketched it out. And now we got some trips scheduled to go down to Santa Fe to buy some land, and we're going to build our own version of this little getaway. And I'm going to build my Fight HQ there. And that's why those 2 pictures are on here for me, you guys, because this is my dream. And the more that one of my dreams, and the more I put my focus on that, I promise you, we are going to have that. And except it's a little up higher. It's a little mountaintop view that I'm looking at. All right. Looking down over the peasants in the world. No, I'm just kidding. All right. But I like to be up high. I like the mountains. I like being outside. We sat out there and we had wine, and I remembered that feeling. And guys, I put my mind on what it felt like to sit there in those pictures, those literal spots, have a glass of wine with my queen each day, and we just enjoyed the pace of life. Okay. So when I put my focus, when you put your focus on that dream that you have, the grind becomes a joy. The grind becomes nothing. The work you have to put in, the shots you're taking to the face, all those things, life is going to come and hit you. It's not all kumbaya if you just focus on your dreams, but it's such an easier journey when you focus on your dreams. And my question here for you is, will you make the choice to think and act in integrity with your dreams? Okay. It's one thing to think, put my mind on my dreams. Y'all with me on that? Use the chat box. I can't see the chat box, but maybe Eric can. All right. And I'm very interactive, guys. I get all insecure if I don't see the count number go up on the chats in here. And then I'm like, nobody's paying attention. And I'm back to the kid on the short bus. And then I got to do all this mental work to get out of the gutter again. All right. It's really not that bad. But
Tom, Ian has offered to build your dream home for you. Just
I've had a lot of offers, by the way. There you go. So appreciate that, Ian. So guys, here's the deal. You have a choice to make. I told you where you're going to be in 10 years. It's come down to your choices. Will you choose to think and take control of your mind each day that moves you closer to what you truly want, because we're drawn to what we focus on? And will you choose to act in integrity with the shit that you say that you want? And this is an obstacle for so many people. All right. One of the 2 obstacles I said that are massive in keeping people from getting where they want to get to in the next 5, 10, 20-year run of their career. The second thing, and maybe even more dangerous thing that I've seen that kills success, that destroys your opportunity to succeed at greater levels, is that you got a trophy today. You won today. I got a guy right here. Okay. Guy I work with, did a big workshop, their sales team, multi-million-dollar company. I just sent this little check-in post. I said, how you doing? Doing great. Had a record month, both top and bottom line. Okay. My reply, great job. Now what? Now what? See, the other thing that keeps you from succeeding at higher levels is you get seduced or satisfied with your own success. You think you've arrived. You sold the biggest job of your life, had the best profit month you've ever had. Whatever it might be, you fill in the blank. And then our natural tendency is to take our foot off the gas and get away from the things that got us there in the first place. And that's why so many contractors have these up and down seasons, up and down months, up and down years, and can never sustain that growth. And when I say growth, I'm not talking that you got to be a $1 billion company. You define your own growth. Okay. But the real question here is, how do you show up the day after you win? Sadly, most people, we had a record month. I'm going to take a 4-day weekend, and they take a day off. They're going to go reward themselves. I'm not saying don't celebrate. Okay. But the tendency is we think we've arrived. Can anyone relate to that? Okay. Look back at your P&L. Biggest month. What happened the next month? Biggest profit year. What happened the next year? When I was 18. Joined the Marine Corps. Graduated as the honor grad in the Marine Corps, top recruit, all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. I did a video on it a while ago. All right. So anyway, I had these big plans to go in and be a force recon Marine, the elite of the Marine Corps. And I failed. I coasted through recruit training, coasted through infantry school, everything else. I was meritoriously promoted a couple times. And when it came time for me to be selected for force recon, I failed the swim. I'm shitty in the water, and I'm shitty in the water because I showed up and I thought that I could wing it. I thought that my past success in the Corps would propel me to that next level. And I failed to put in the work and prepare myself for the next level of success that was required of me. Do you understand what I'm saying there? See, and that's what seduction of success looks like, you guys. That's what being satisfied with what you've accomplished up till now looks like. It's like, I'll miss a day here. I'll miss a day there. I'm physically here. Maybe I'm doing a role play for sales in the office. I'm physically here, but my mind's not really here. I'm not all in. All right. Or had a great sales month. I know I got to make some prospecting calls, but I'm going to just tap those out today. I'll do them tomorrow. Best month, lousy month. Okay. We've been pushing hard. I deserve a break, all that other crap. So what you have to ask yourself is, what are your current choices costing you? It's a simple question. How many mediocre days? And that's what I call when you don't show up as your very best, on point, dialed in, focused in. What is the true cost of these mediocre days? Now, because being satisfied with our success, we go, oh, it's just a day. And it's just a half a day here. And it's just another day here where I'm not on my A game. Or I'm allowing my sales team to not be on their A game. Well, how many of those mediocre days are going to compound over the next 10 years? When you look back after this next 10-year run, and we're going to talk sales now. When you look back at this next 10-year run, are you going to look back and go, hell yeah? Hell yeah. Or are you going to go, man, we blew some real opportunities? I'm 53, 54 in September. By no means do I think I'm old, but I've lived enough life to look back and go, God, I wish I knew a lesson like this when I was 20 or even 30 or even 35. How many less mediocre days, how much further I would be along in every area of my life if I understood, when I look back, how simple it is to look back and see all the opportunities that I've blown. And I don't want that for you. I want you to get to the end of this next 10-year run, and I want you to be proud of the daily compounding effort and actions that you put in. See, these current choices, what are they costing? Yeah, it's a day here and a day there, and maybe you don't hit your sales or profit goal this month. But what are these mediocre days going to cost when you want to sell your business someday? Or what's the true cost of allowing your thinking, like we talked about, okay, to sabotage your dream? What's the true cost of that? What's the real cost of allowing yourself or your sales team to be satisfied or seduced by the success they've had? What is the real cost of that? If you're a salesperson watching this and you're bitching and complaining because you want more commissions and more money and this and that, all right, are you focused on your dream? Are you satisfied with the record month? Or do you continue to show up day in, day out, day in? Like, I don't care what you think of Tom Brady, but he wins a bunch of Super Bowls, and his first year at Tampa Bay, they win the damn Super Bowl. All right. Because that's just how shit happens around that guy, right? Because he chooses to show up and bring his best every single day, regardless of what the results were the day before. These mediocre days look like this. Bunch of goose eggs. Not always, though. See, you can have mediocre sales days and still hit your sales goal. You could be hitting every sales goal that you have right now and looking back at your P&L going, well, we're growing and we're doing great and this and that. But however, is it your best? is it your best? Because if it's not your best, then you're just settling, and this has become your new mediocre level that, hey, I just fall out of bed in the morning and I sell shit. I'm pretty good at this. People like me and we got a good brand and I'm accidentally selling jobs. But there's nothing that I'm doing to grow, nothing that I'm doing to develop my skills and get better. Then you're being mediocre. So here's the truth. Little reality check here. There's 260 sales days roughly per year. Tom, how'd you get that? Pull up the calendar. I count the number of weekdays that there's not a holiday and that we're working. Take off the weekends unless you choose to add the weekends. But I'm just saying in general, and each year it's somewhere around 260 sales days. If you allow, now, and this number 2 here, I've done this for a long time. I've worked with a lot of organizations, done tons of sales workshops for people. And the average mediocre days, because when we get in and we get real, we talk and we come to Jesus and things like that. All right. We get real on this and guys fess up and they go, yeah, probably 2 days a week. I'm not my best. Okay. Just what it is for whatever the reason is. 2 days a week. I'm not my best. 2 mediocre days times 50 weeks a year. If you take 2 weeks off is 100 mediocre days a year. That's 38% of the available sales days that you're not showing up, bringing everything you have. What is the compound effect of that this year? What's today? It's the 20th of June. 2023, Jan 1 to today, about 6 months, right? That means if we're going off this, pretty close to 50 mediocre sales days so far. What has been the true cost of that in your bank account and your sanity? That's the reality check. And guys, the truth is that our time is limited. And I want to talk a little bit about the standard here. See, what you tolerate in yourself and what you tolerate in your team is compounding right now, one way or the other. See, I love, because I can see Eric right now. He's nodding his head to a couple of these things because he gets it. He knows what it's like to build an organization, you guys. He understands that every minute counts. Okay? No wasted movement here. No wasted days. No wasted moments. So let's just talk sales here for a second. Let's break this down. Talk about the standard. If I got a salesperson and their sales goal is $2 million, divided by 260, that's rounded it up a few bucks to $7,700 a day. Okay. That's simply just the standard on the goal. All right. Now, what happens now when we have our expectation, but then reality kicks in with 2 mediocre sales days? 100 days times 77, you're underperforming by 770 grand. Here's the thing. You might still hit the sales goal of 2 million. But you left another 700 or another $750,000 or $1 million or more dollars on the table, you guys, because you've allowed mediocre days. Is this resonating? Do you understand the importance of never allowing yourself to have a mediocre day? Now, if you do, you wake your ass up the next day and you don't have 2 in a row. It's that simple. It's very unlikely that you're going to go from mediocre days to 0 mediocre days ever for the rest of your life. Okay. My ask of you is this, is that you simply give the very best when you're supposed to be given your very best. So if you're working, you're all in. When you're at home with the wife, you're all in. When you're playing with the kid in the yard, you're all in. But our problem is, especially salespeople, we have a lot of free time, if you want to call it that. All right. And I've done things where we've surveyed people and we're like, how much time do you really think you're doing sales related activities in a day? And the honest ones are like maybe 50% of the day. Guys, I'm in a red light. I pull out my Bonjoro app and I'm sending messages to follow up with people going, hey, I know we talked last week about a sales workshop. I got 30 seconds here at the red light. Where are we at? Hit me back. Look forward to helping you guys out. Boom. That's I win every damn moment. I win the moments. My plane is delayed. I'm like, great. I have an opportunity to do a video for content now. So I go find a corner of the airport and I do some social media content and I add value to the community, because in turn, I know each one of these actions, they stack and they stack and they stack over time. Mediocre days are costing you greatly. And guys, this is the average mediocre days. See, because right now, what's also happening to many of you, and when I say many of you, I'm pointing back at myself in the past as well, is that your phone's ringing, okay? Leads are dropping out of the sky. Everything's great. It's the busy season. People want stuff done. Your tendency is to take your focus off what it means to be a true sales hunter, and then you get consumed with all the other crap, and you haven't made this a priority, and you've allowed it to become a mediocre day just by default of lack of focus. So what constitutes a mediocre sales day? I'll give you a couple examples here. Lack of focused activity. If you woke up today and didn't know exactly what you were doing at each hour of the day, then chances are it's a mediocre sales day. All right. If you are not consistently training in how to communicate, how to sell, role plays, how to prospect, role-playing prospecting conversations. Some of these guys right now, Eric, have no idea what prospecting means because they think that's Google's job. Okay.
Yeah.
So guys can't be like a bunch of baby birds waiting for the universe to bring you a worm. Okay. Waiting for mama bird to show up and go, here's your little worm. You need to have that focused activity, that training. If you are playing the price wars with clients right now and discounting your work, that is a sign that you have mediocre sales days, because true elite sales professionals don't compete on price because they put the training in. If your margins are low right now, that is another indicator of mediocre sales days. If your sales are stuck, you just can't get over a certain plateau. That's another indicator. And another big one for those of you that are salespeople, and shit, even if you're the only salespeople in your company, and shit, if you got a sales team and whatever, it doesn't matter. If your salespeople are not producing their own leads, you're having mediocre sales days. Okay. I have fired salespeople in the past because they refused to prospect. They refuse to hunt. All right. I pay a salary, a small base to salespeople. That's their compensation to hunt. I pay their commission to sell shit. Okay. And a true salesperson, even if you're a one-man business right now, and you're a salesperson, a true salesperson is a hunter. Okay. They are not waiters waiting for everything to come to them. All right. A lot of you put too much stock into Google and all these other marketing things. And guys, I love building my brand and marketing and this and that, but New Year's Eve day at 10 o'clock in the morning, most beautiful day of the year for me, because it's college football out the ass. I love that whole week. All right. New Year's Eve day, we're in Scottsdale, Arizona. I am on my phone running through the finish line of the year, DMing people that went cold on us here in the fight, reaching out to people in the Facebook group that I see a little pain. And I'm like, hey, you know, we got this program. Hey, you know, we got this. Guys, I sold 13 deals up until 9:30 at night on New Year's Eve. Nice. I did it for two reasons. Number one, I did it because that's just how I do it. I can't help it. Finally, my wife came in and she's like, hey, baby, you've been in all this all day. And I've been in and out with the family and stuff, but the whole time I'm like, I'm working it. And this is pretty much 365 days a year for me. All right. Because I like it. I can't help it. Second reason I did it is because I have an organization that I need to be the example to. Okay. And a lot of you guys are not having the success you want with the sales in your company, with your sales teams, because you're a lame ass example and they're just following your lead. All right. So we'll talk a little more on that in a minute. Guys are like, shit, I don't want to talk about that. All right. Guys, these days they add up and they're costly. What is the true impact of mediocre sales days on your personal income, your debt situation, your ability to hire and retain a kick-ass team, the ability to grow your business? You have an opportunity to grow, but you don't have the cash, or the profits? What's the cost on your sanity, your EBITDA? Okay. That's if you ever want to sell your business, that's where the multiplier comes from. All right. I did a workshop for a bunch of $20 million companies not too long ago, and we did some math. Some of these guys want to sell their business in 10 years, and we reversed engineer the cost of mediocre days times their 12 salespeople and what that would amount to in 10 years. And it was millions of dollars that they would sell their business less for less because they allow these mediocre days. What is the cost of these mediocre sales days on your dreams? Those things that you say you want, that where I want to sit and I want to build our little Fight HQ compound and outside of Santa Fe, overlooking the mountains. What happens if I allow too many sales days? What's the impact on that dream for me? Or maybe you're the jet that you want, or you want to buy your mom a house, or you got a family member that you got to take care of as they get older. And that's part of your dream. Guys, it's your dream. It ain't my dream. It's not just a day here and there. It's no big deal. I need a half a day to chill. Plan your days to chill. But if you're planning to work, you work and you put the work in.
Yeah.
So what does it look like to live to a standard? We've talked about living to a standard, the expectation. Got a formula. Excuse me. Number one, you got to have a clarity of the destination you want. Number two, reverse engineer what it takes to get there. That's called the process, right? You ever heard the word, trust the process, follow the process. Third, number three, non-negotiable commitment to the process. Now I'm going to give you an example here in a minute, so bear with me. Number four, commitment to no wasted days. That's my formula, guys. Know exactly what I want, where I want to go. Reverse engineer what it's going to take to get there, okay? Which is the process. Commit non-negotiably to following the process 100% of the time. Again, if you have a sales team and you got people that aren't following the process, you got a problem. You're tolerating it. You're allowing it. You don't have shitty salespeople. You're a shitty leader. And you got room to grow. Doesn't mean you're a bad person, so don't cry and all that other crap right now, all right? So where'd my thing go? There it is. And finally, commitment to no wasted days. We just think about that one thing right now. If you had no wasted days, no wasted movement, no wasted time. There's crazy studies out there in the business world, how much time is wasted today in corporate America. I think it's more in the trades, believe it or not. Okay. Especially on the administrative and sales side of things. Not so much in the field. I think the field, they do a little better because they can't sit on Facebook or something at their desk and hide on a cubicle all day. Okay. Your sales do not grow by looking at your sales every day, because people buying your stuff is not within your control. I have no control over somebody buying an event ticket, joining Battleground, hiring me for a workshop. I have zero control over that happening. And my sales never grow when I simply just look at my sales goal, you guys. A lot of you guys just look at your sales goal now and then, and you wonder why you're not getting there. Okay. Your sales grow when you're relentless about the process, when you're relentless about the sales activity it takes to get there. Can I get an amen, Pastor T, in the chat box? You guys have been too quiet in the chat box. You know how I know? Because it says the number 14 for me is how many new comments are in there, and it hasn't grown in a while. All right. So now I'm getting all insecure. So what I want to do here is I want to give you an example of what following the process looks like, what next level effort looks like. When I'm on site to do these workshops, for example, we go deep. I open eyes. I unify their teams. I push some buttons. Okay. But most importantly, I get your people making the choice to show up daily with next level effort. I'm going to give you guys something here. All right. And I think I spoke about this a little bit at JobTread Connect. All right. And so if this is new to you, great. If it ain't new to you, you probably forgot it. So I'm going to say it again. Okay. Enter what I call the unexpected intentional touch. UITs is what we call them here. When I shared earlier that I got 30 seconds at a traffic light, or I'm pumping gas or whatever it is, I'll shoot a quick text to a past customer. This is one aspect of hunting and working the process. I know, okay, and I guarantee you guys would have this same math too if you tracked it, that if you spent more time connecting with and loving up on the people that are already in your database, they're already in the CRM you got there with JobTread. They've already gotten a bid, hired you in the past, whatever it is. I always start with the people that have given me money before. And it is simply this. It's usually a video, and I go, hey, Eric, it's Tom with Tom's Painting, man. We painted your thing last, summer, and it's been about a year. Just curious. I was thinking about your project today. Hit me back when you get a minute. Let me know how it's looking. Talk to you soon. Send. What was that? 17 seconds? 15 seconds? Guys, I do 3 of those a day. 3 of those a day. I encourage the people that we coach and do workshops for and our Battleground members to just do 3 a day. To the people that have already given you money. This is what it means to not waste a day. So you might have a shitty day. You might be getting hijacked left and right with things on a project and the most batshit crazy client you've ever worked with in your life. I know her, by the way. All right. So, but you're going to tell me you can't do that 3 times a day, non-negotiable? If you don't want to do a video, do it while you're sitting on the toilet for 20 minutes and send 3 out. There's always an opportunity to work the process. If you want to get really crazy, especially if you are a salesperson in your company, meaning that's the main hat that you wear, then, do 3 of those a day and do 3 touches to potential prospects, to potential customers. Hey, I just saw your truck drive down such and such street. I paint stuff, you build stuff. I thought we might need to know each other. Start a conversation. You're getting your burrito at the burrito shop and you see a guy with ABC something construction on there. Go, oh man, what do you do? Oh, I do this. Oh, we do this. Hey, we should know each other, man. Strike up a conversation. Guys, when I say prospecting, it doesn't mean cold calling like being all terrified. It means that you are consistently planting seeds. You're building relationships. You are on the hunt because you're not a baby bird. Okay? Unexpected intentional touches. 2022, one of our GCs did 1.7 million. 39% of that, 670, was from UITs.
Wow.
2023, a painter, $9 million company that I work with. I teach it at a deeper level in these workshops. I had everyone pull out their phone. They had a sales team of about 8 people sitting in there, or 7 people. And I said, I want you to all pick somebody that's a past customer that you did work for in the last 12 months. Within 84 or 24 hours, they generated $80,000 of sales from something that took us 5 minutes, you guys. And I check in with them. I send my UITs to them too. Hey man, just thinking about you. I know Billy on your team. He wasn't doing his UITs. How's that going? Do you need me to kick him in the ass or anything like that? And they'll LOL me back. Guys, it keeps the relationship warm. It keeps you top of mind. It shows that you give a shit. How many, like right now, all right, percentage wise, out of all the people that you have done a project for in the last 12 months, what percentage have you or somebody on your team, salesperson, sales role? Sometimes you can have your office manager or administrative assistant do these. Okay. I'm not talking a bulk email here, by the way. I'm not talking a bulk text. I'm talking, hey, Eric, it's Tom, looking into the camera or texting directly. What percentage of the jobs, the people you have served in the last 12 months have gotten one of those from you? Type it in the box. 100% says Ian, love it. Twice. Guys, this is one of those non-negotiables. Okay. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be some thing. So about 205 jobs Mike has done. And have you done 205? Very few, says Eric. So listen, no matter where you're at, if you're winning on this, keep winning on it. Then add the layer of prospecting for new business on top of this and stack those small things and they'll win. Small hinges swing big doors. Okay. These small compounding actions. Okay. We have a house painter here that we love. They did, I don't know, 15 grand worth of work for us almost 2 years ago now. If they would send one of these to us, my wife would drop another 20 grand today. Because there's things that are on our radar, you guys. You know this, if you all own a home, you know this. There's things on your radar, but they're just not urgent. And it's not urgent, but we're doing a lot of traveling. We got 5 kids, and our last 2 just graduated high school. They're going off to college. Another one's transferring from Colorado State to Texas A&M this year. Son of mine just got out of the Marines. My other son's doing this and that. Like, we have a busy life, plus the business and stuff. And it's there. You know what we need? We need a little nudge. We just need a nudge. And that's how I think of these UITs. The other benefit here, you got to play the long game. It's not like you're going to send one and get a job in 24 hours all the time. But the compound effect of this, my friends, check this out. If you go 270 days times 3, that's 810. Are you going to go 0 for 810 in a year? What I have found is it usually shakes out to around 5% conversion on that. That's 40 projects times whatever my average job size is, sitting there right under my nose. This is just one aspect, you guys, of not allowing a mediocre day. This had nothing to do with closing techniques. This has nothing to do with, being all bold in the process. These are people that already love you. They already like you. They've already given you money. All the stats in the world will tell you if somebody's given you money once, they're like 85% more likely to do it again. They just don't know who the hell you are anymore because we don't stay in touch, or we send some stupid email that some lame ass social media company made for you that just goes to the spam and they never see it because they don't know how to communicate on a personal level. Our world right now is dying for a personal connection with companies. This is your edge. I'm telling you right now, this is an edge for you and your organization, my friends. All right. So what it takes: hunter mentality. We've talked about creating and honoring your standard. No more being rain barrels. In the sales world, they go, that dude's a rainmaker. I'm a rainmaker. You all think, a lot of people think they're rainmakers when in reality, they're a rain barrel. They got their mouth open to the skies, waiting for it to rain leads, especially your sales teams. If you have a salesperson on your team, I guarantee you that unless you're doing the shit I'm talking about and leading them this way, I guarantee you they're not laying awake at night going, God, how am I going to get some leads this week? They're sleeping like a baby going, boss man's going to pay Google to give me leads. Boss man's going to give me leads. I don't think you're a real salesperson unless you self-generate leads, unless you shit money. If you don't have the ability to lift a leg and squeeze out some money, you're not a true salesperson. And no wasted days. So I'll leave you with this. If we had a conversation with your actions over the last 30 days, what would we learn about you and your commitment to your dreams? You don't have to type it in the box. This is for you. See, the true cost of not being locked in and dialed in and showing up our best, okay? What's the true cost of that? What story does your thinking and your actions tell us about your commitment to winning at the highest levels? It's just you want more results and better answers and all this in your life and your business, ask yourself better questions and be willing to accept the truth. And I want to reiterate this point because I made it quickly earlier. Just because you and your team might be hitting your sales goals doesn't mean that you're not mediocre. It's great. You're hitting your sales goals. Maybe your goals aren't high enough. Okay. You want your best, don't you? You can yes or no in the chat box. Do you want to be the type of person at the end of the 10-year run that looks back and goes, I showed up my best, right? Second question, if you have a sales team, do you want their best every day too? Every damn day? See, that's what consistency means. So guys, this is much more than just hitting your sales targets. What we've talked about here today, this is a cultural issue, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're tolerating mediocrity in yourself or your team, okay, in one area, the sales area, I guarantee it's showing up in other areas of your business, and it has become a cultural issue. Okay. I have an unwritten value. And this means different things in our business. I'm not going to go into, and this isn't meant to be like a hard line thing, but we have a thing in the fight that everyone carries their water. Everyone carries their water. You guys understand what I mean by that? Or if you go back to the Bible, the Bible, that's the book for me. Remember that song? Anyway. All right. So Sunday school. All right. If a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat, that sort of mentality. Now, I am all good covering for somebody if they're going through a hard time. I'm not saying we're a bunch of ogres here, but in general, if I have a conversation with the performance and the actions of my team, and I realize that you're just a baby bird waiting for shit to happen, you're not going to be able to last here. Okay. Because you're not going to fit in culturally. And my number one job as a founder of the Contractor Fight is to protect our culture and to guide our vision and to take us to those dreams that I have and that we have as a team and as a company, and to help the people that have chosen to invest their time and their talents into me and my dream. I want to help them get their dreams too. That's why this is more than just a sales thing, you guys. It's a cultural thing. Guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me here today. I want to invite you to ask any questions. If you got them, type them in the chat and we'll go for it. I also want to invite you, if you want to come hang out with us at Mile High Profit Summit this September. Eric's going to be there. I'm going to be there. About 500 other contractors from all over the country are going to be there in Denver. You can go to milehighprofitsummit.com and join us there. And for those that want to take it even deeper, I encourage you to check out our elite package, where that will be a full day and the whole event with myself, a whole full workshop day with myself, Renee Rodriguez, the author of Amplify Your Influence, who's a communications and leadership expert, and Ben Newman, one of the top performance coach for high performers in the country, and myself. So appreciate y'all. And Eric, if you got any questions, fire them away, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, appreciate the talk, Tom. That was awesome. At least I know it really resonated with me. I'm, curious to hear everyone else's thoughts here in the chat box. But a couple questions have come in. What are some of the indicators that you're having too many mediocre sales days? I mean, how do you identify this? Whether it's with yourself personally or with your team. Are there any tactics, strategies you got there?
Yeah, well, I think the very first one, only you will know because it's an internal thing, is your conscience, right? I mean, we all know we can't lie to ourselves, can't BS ourselves. Next, and I touched on a couple of these earlier. I think if you find yourself competing on price, then you're lacking in a skill somewhere, and you need to level up those skills. If your debt is increasing or just staying the same and not paying it down, that could be an indicator. So, for instance, one of our coaches in the fight, James Miller, his story's been told a bunch of times. Guys, he came with nothing. It was a pretty bleak situation. And within 3 years, he just paid it off this past May. $1 million worth of debt in 3 years, and he 4 or 5x'd his personal income. That's an indicator of somebody who doesn't allow mediocre days. Yeah. If you can't seem to get past a certain revenue point, or if you're counting on Google and other paid sources like I talked about, or if your sales team doesn't produce their own leads and they're just order takers, then I think we're allowing mediocrity.
What about, you wake up just not feeling it, or you get into the morning not feeling, I mean, what do you do when you've got, you got a decision to make, am I going to let this day go south, or am I going to turn it around? Like, you got any ideas, things that you do to help turn the day around before it's too late?
Yeah, well, the first thing is to brainwash yourself in a good way, to remind yourself that success is inconvenient and doesn't care about your feelings, right? Yeah. So again, it's just a choice. I don't feel like doing this follow-up call. I don't feel like doing a role play. I don't feel like calling this mad customer, whatever's going on. I don't feel like getting out of bed today. that's decision number one. You just got to go, am I going to choose to run into the punch of this and embrace the inconvenience, or am I going to be a little knucklehead about it and not? Second is get a quick win. You know, if you guys are familiar with Mel Robbins, she's a great author and speaker. She's got a thing called the 5-4-3-2-1 rule. So right now, today, chances are we talked about UITs. And when I said, think of a past customer, you thought of a past customer. So the best thing you could do is you get off this thing today, you open up your text and you go, hey, Mary, it's Bill. We built that thing for you last summer, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever it is, 2 years ago. I don't care, 5 years ago. This, you know, I just wanted to check in. How's it looking?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be rocket science. Just take some action, and that momentum, those little stacking wins. Notice here, guys, and Eric, I didn't come out and, you know, when you're not feeling it, what do? I didn't ask you to go, you know, stupid analogy, eat the elephant, right? I just said, just take, you know, break off a little of its toenail and nibble on it a little bit. I don't care. Just get some action moving.
Yeah. Yeah. They, you know, it was interesting. I was having a really interesting conversation. I was actually interviewing one of our customers for our new Builder Stories podcast. And, he was talking about how one of his guys on the team was just, you know, really, you know, having just a lot of mediocre days. And he knew in his gut that he needed to make a change, but he just kind of kept letting it go. And, you know, he saw in other people on the team kind of, you know, starting to really affect them and their productivity. And he said, finally, you know, I bit the bullet, you know, I had to let him go. And he said, just like literally instantly, like he saw the morale of the rest of the team, like just totally change. He saw like everybody stepping up to pick up any, you know, drop balls, like everyone just came together and they were all just like so much more energized and so much more happy because this guy was, you know, I mean, he was a bad apple. He was just bringing down the rest of the team. And, you know, I'm a big believer. You got to coach people and help them try to, you know, get where they need to go. But at the end of the day, you do have to make those tough decisions. So, you know, I mean, how do you decide when you think the time is to make that tough call, Tom?
I have the benefit of a lot of years of experience with decisions like this. And what I can say is 100% of the time I had that first thought that somebody needs to go, they ended up going.
Yeah.
And so I've learned to really trust that first. And so if I'm having that first thought, like, hey, I don't know if this is going to work, I'm going to have a conversation with that person immediately. And I'm basically like, here it is, man. My spidey sense is tingling.
Yeah.
I'm getting the sense that, you know, something isn't right here. I don't know what it is. Maybe I've let you down as a leader and you got a chip on your shoulder and you're pissed. Maybe you're distracted with something at home. I'm willing to have a conversation, but I just got to let you know there's a certain standard here that, that we need to operate by. And I care about you. I care about what's going on at home or whatever. But when you're here, I need you all here with your best. And if you can't do that, then let's just part ways now. Yeah. And, but 100% of the time that I've ignored that, Eric, it's bit me in the ass later on. And,
same experience here.
And to your point, you know, we've let people go before and immediately the rest of the team performance shot up.
Yeah.
Because guys, all eyes are on you as the leader and how you show up, what you tolerate, all these things. You know, it's pretty impactful.
Yeah. See, Everin got a question here. Is there a report in JobTread that can show us the 1-year-old customers? Sounds like he wants to start getting his UITs out there. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you could do that, Everin. I mean, you know, basically you could run the report from the customers. You know, you could also look at the jobs. You could look at the documents. I mean, basically you can look at, you know, use the created date, you know, to filter, or you could use the, you know, kind of the last, you know, maybe the close date for the job. So if you want to look for 1 year after you closed out a job, you know, even just all the customer orders, you know, you've got all those date fields. And so you can use those as your filters, or if you maybe you just wanted to sort, you know, you could see all your customers to sort and find the oldest ones up top. And that's your target list. Start at the top and work your way down. And as Tom said, just, pick off 3-4 a day. And,
Yep.
that's a great, you could even, if you wanted, you could add a custom field that says, UIT sent, or maybe, maybe it's a checkbox, or maybe it's, UIT sent date. And maybe you want to put the last date that you sent it. And then you could filter that list by, to automatically remove the ones that have, that you've reached out to. But yeah, love the question. Appreciate it.
And guys, I want to share another key thing on this with these UITs. These are not to be done in bulk. Okay. This is an individualized, it's unexpected, intentional touch. I'm intentionally reaching out to Eric. Okay. And I'm fine if an assistant does it or whatever it is, because that's especially, the $9 million company I was telling you about, Eric, they have a database of like 100,000 people, right?
Yeah.
And so they've written it into some of these job descriptions now that, hey, when you got, you need to hit 3 UITs to a past customer every day, and they're doing what you're doing in their CRM and they're tracking it, but it's a personal message. It's not an email. It's a text or a phone call or a video. And guys, do not try to sell anything. Like, hey, wanted to see how the thing's looking, how the deck is looking. Oh, it looks great. You guys are awesome. Hey, do you have any more work for us? That's not the point. Okay. The point is truly a genuine, just I'm touching in with you because I care. And some of you, depending on database size and how many people are doing this in your company, you might recycle through the whole customer list every 2 or 3 months. And that's okay. Okay. That's better than not. And yeah, I like the videos. I like videos better, less chance for typos. And I like that I could look right into the lens.
Yeah.
And I could give eye contact like I try to do when I do these things. Usually I look right up here at my camera because it makes it more personal. And when you say their name, like, hey, Julie, it's Tom with such and such company. And I was just driving by your neighborhood yesterday, and it made me think of that crazy issue we had with your fence or whatever, and
you still use that, there was an app you were using. Is that your go-to, or do you recommend just record the video on your phone and send it?
So if it's a customer that I've had text relationship with, I'll just use it from my phone.
Yeah.
Or if you're a salesperson, that's fine too. The tool Eric is talking about is that little green bear or yellow bear called Bonjoro. That you upload emails into, and sometimes I'll do these if I don't have that, if I've never texted them before, just depends on how the relationship went.
Sure.
But I like texting guys in the video because it's just more unique, and it's not some automated thing, and it's not an email that's going to get sent to spam.
Yeah.
But guys, like for instance, I mentioned earlier, like the whole power of intentional communication with people and human touch. Guys, this is an edge. If you came to Mile High last year, I should reframe that. If you're the person who bought the tickets and for your company and came to Mile High, like the owner of the company, if you brought people, probably didn't happen. But every time somebody bought a ticket, it would feed into my Bonjoro automation thing, and it would go, oh, Joe Smith just bought a Mile High Profit Summit ticket, and I'm planning on doing this again this year. Okay. And I open it up and I hit record and I go, hey, Joe, I just saw that you grabbed a ticket for Mile High this year. I can't wait to see you in a couple months, man. Keep stacking the wins. We'll catch you in Denver. Done. I did it over 400 times last year individually. Okay. So guys, this is about differentiating, right? It's about showing that you care and all that other stuff. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then to those of you guys who aren't familiar with the Contractor Fight or with their Battleground program, or their Mile High Profit Summit, I can tell you, I've been a member. I've been part of this group for a long time now, several years. It really is a great community. There's a lot of insight that you can learn, everything from, mindset to sales strategies to managing and building your teams. I definitely am big fan of what you guys are doing, Tom. And I've seen the impact firsthand on, the JobTread customers who are also part of your programs. I mean, I see their businesses, they're growing, they're on the up and up. They're really great, at helping each other and being there, the battleground group on Facebook is it's a tremendous group of very dedicated, hardworking individuals who, they're there for each other. So, if you aren't familiar with that, I definitely recommend you check it out. Mile High Profit Summit is, it's a couple-day event in Denver later in the year. I think tickets are just went on sale. So, check that out as well. JobTread will be there. We usually come with, good sized crew as well. So,
Yeah, you do.
I'd love to meet you guys out there in person as well. But I think it'll also be a great opportunity for you to learn a lot more of the types of, things that Tom has shared with us today. It's a jam-packed event with a lot of it, but you'll walk away a better, business owner and a better leader for your company.
I appreciate that, man. And guys, the theme this year is Sell Unafraid. We're digging into all aspects of sales, marketing, lead gen, more things on numbers, all to help you sell and be more profitable. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen, or you can go to Mile High Profit Summit. I think early bird ends on July 5th at like 11:59 p.m. So take advantage of that. Don't spend more than you need to if you're on the fence with this thing. So
Awesome.
But Eric, I appreciate you, man. And appreciate you all being here today.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great one.